Okay. Sorry, I can't be reading in German. No. Where to begin my story? Negotiating with memories isn't easy. How to choose between those panting to be told, those still ripening, those already shriveling, and those destined to be mangled by language and come out pulverized. One thing's for sure. Not writing about my father would take a mental effort that's beyond me. All my non-dad thoughts feel like transparent strategies to avoid thinking about him. And why should I avoid it anyway? My father punished me for existing, and now it's my turn to punish him for existing. It's only fair. But the real difficulty is I feel dwarfed by our lives. They loom disproportionately large. We painted on a broader canvas than we deserved, across 3 continents, from obscurity to celebrity, from cities to jungles, from rags to designer rags, betrayed by our lovers and our bodies and humiliated on a national then cosmic scale with hardly a cuddle to keep us going. We were lazy people on an adventure, flirting with life but too shy to go all the way. So how to begin to recount our hideous odyssey? Keep it simple, Jasper. Remember, people are satisfied, no make that thrilled by the simplification of complex events. And besides, mine's a damn good story and it's true. I don't know why, but that seems to be important to people. Personally, if someone said to me, I've got this great story to tell you and every word is an absolute lie, I'd be on the edge of my seat. I guess I should just admit it. This will be as much about my father as it is about me. I hate how no one can tell the story of his life without making a star of his enemy, but that's just the way it is. The fact is, the whole of Australia despises my father perhaps more than any other man, just as they adore his brother, my uncle, perhaps more than any other man. I might as well set the story straight about both of them, though I don't intend to undermine your love for my uncle or reverse your hatred for my father, especially if it's an expansive hatred. I don't want to spoil things if you use your hatred to quicken your awareness of who you love. I should also say this just to get it out of the way. My father's body will never be found.
Die meiste Zeit über konnte ich mich nicht entscheiden, ob ich meinen Vater nun bedauern, ignorieren, verehren, verurteilen oder gar umbringen sollte. Tatsächlich blieb mir sein Verhalten bis zum Schluss unerklärlich. Er hatte widersprüchliche Vorstellungen von praktisch allem und jedem, besonders was meine Ausbildung anging. Ich war gerade mal 8 Monate im Kindergarten, da entschied er, dass ich nicht mehr hingehen sollte, weil das Erziehungssystem verdummt, geisttötend, archaisch und profan sei. Ich verstehe nicht, wie jemand das Malen mit Fingerfarben archaisch und profan nennen kann. Eine Schweinerei, das ja. Geisttötend? Nein. Er nahm mich aus der Gruppe und wollte mich zu Hause selbst unterrichten. Statt mich mit Fingerfarben malen zu lassen, las er mir die Briefe vor, die Vincent van Gogh seinen Bruder Theo geschrieben hatte, kurz bevor er sich das Ohr abschnitt. Dazu Passagen aus dem Buch Menschliches, Allzu Menschliches, damit wir gemeinsam Nietzsche vor den Nazis retten konnten. Dann ließ sich Dad von der zeitaufwendigen Beschäftigung ins Leere zu starren, ablenken, und ich saß im Haus herum und drehte die Däumchen, mit denen ich lieber in Fingerfarben gematscht hätte. Nach 6 Wochen lieferte er mich wieder im Kindergarten ab. Gerade als es so aussah, als wäre es mir noch vergönnt, ein normales Leben zu führen, da marschierte er, keine 2 Wochen nach Beginn meines ersten Schuljahrs, ins Klassenzimmer und riss mich erneut aus einem heraus. Weil ihn die Furcht überkommen hatte, mein empfängliches Hirn könnte sich in den Spalten von Satans Unterhose verlieren.
Well, I think I should say it's not at all an autobiographical novel.
Okay, so really.
Yes. So my father isn't the most hated man in Australia, and my uncle isn't the most adored man, and no, it's very, very little to do. My family background, 4 grandparents from Poland, Lithuania, Palestine, and New Zealand, who all converged on Australia at some point, and this novel has, it's completely a work of imagination. In fact, I would say that it's not remotely autobiographical, yet completely autobiographical. If that makes sense. In Australia, you do feel far from the rest of the world. And I personally had, I guess when I finished university, I realized that if I was going to live to about 80 years old, then I realized that I'd already spent a quarter of my life in the one place, and that kind of filled me with kind of a terror and a horror, and so I wanted to get out immediately and go as far away as I can. I mean, there's no way of leaving Australia without going as far away as possible because there's just that distance.
Yeah, you can take the boy out of the ghetto, but you can't take.
Exactly. So yeah, and I always return to Australia, but Australia is also a great place to live.
What is it you miss most? This yeast you put on your bread? Or?
Yes, Vegemite. Vegemite, which is not for people who aren't used to it.
It's an acquired taste.
Well, considering it's spring now and the weather is very similar to our deepest winter, I'd have to say that the weather. I think. Well, this is Australian dollars, you have to see. The Australian dollar versus the euro is not really doing that well. So it's not. And look, imagine, it took me 5 years to write the novel. So divided by 5, I don't think that really. And then if you include,
dollar is earned. Every dollar is earned. Sure. But I want to know the secret how you get a publisher to give it to in advance without a body of work to rely on.
Well, basically, what I did, and everybody has to go their own way, and I should say the first version that I sent out was 1,000 pages, and just printing 1,000 pages is expensive enough, and then photocopying it, and then sending it by mail from Australia to the UK and to New York, that was already very expensive. That was probably already $100,000 just there. And my initial, I didn't know anyone in the publishing industry, and I didn't know anything about the publishing industry. And my initial idea, which I thought was a really good one, was I looked at the contemporary novels on my bookshelf, and I thought I'll just look and see who their agents were. The books that I really enjoyed. So I took all my favorite authors and I got their numbers or the addresses of their agents, and I sent my 1,000-page book. Okay. And I sort of got all rejections, so that didn't work. And then I cut 300 pages out of the book, and then I did it all over again, sent it all back, and that still didn't work. And then what happened was my sister met an author at a party who knew someone who knew someone who knew a publisher, and that's really how it came about. And I actually was looking for an agent, and I thought it would get to him, and he perhaps could recommend someone to me. I didn't know who he was, and then in fact he was with Random House, and he really liked the book. And so it just requires,
a fair share of luck.
A fair share of luck, exactly.